Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 2.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this, please.
All right. So Shamea asked Drew if she is dating Dennis. People saw them booed up, matching at the club. Apparently, Dennis asked for Porsha to come to Drew's birthday party, but Porsha had just taken her makeup off and she wasn't about to go. Drew posted a picture of herself. She looked washed or stressed, as Porsha would describe. Porsha called and asked if she was okay. And then that's when Drew brought up Dennis, working with Dennis in that conversation. But Porsha says that she doesn't really care. Drew says, like, Porsha, she did reach out to her, and Porsha was like, it was a text. Drew opened up for Tamar. Dennis wanted her to host the official after party, and then he did a pitch in order to get Drew to work with him so he could help her with her music. Dennis said that he asked Porsha for her blessing, and she gave it. Drew said that Dennis is like a brother. They used to all hang out, her, Ralph, Porsha, Dennis, and he had a record. He had her record a song for him and Porsha. He cried. Drew said that the man loves you and she would never deal with Porsha's baby daddy.
Okay.
Porsha calls Drew a low down, dirty individual.
Wow.
She breaks the fourth wall and says, you've been asking Dennis to film with you. And he showed apparently Porsha the text messages of Drew asking Dennis to film with her.
Yeah.
And Kenya asked, is that bad? She's a whole married woman. Like, what is she worried about what Dennis is doing? Porsha said that Drew was setting up a photo shoot for Go Naked, which is her hair. And, you know, you can't sit up here and have a photo shoot for my business. Drew can see that Porsha just wants to be mad at her for whatever reason. Then the ladies jump in the pool. They have a phone party to end out the night for Shamea's birthday.
Let's talk about this discussion, right?
Yes.
One thing that Drew said was that that Dennis is my angel on earth, something like that. And even one of the ladies was like, yeah, that don't sound good. That don't sound good. I think I'm about to disappoint a lot of people.
Okay.
Even my wife, who's sitting next to me.
All right.
Right. I think I agree with Porsha. Oh, my God, what's wrong with me? Because here's the thing. If I can't film in my house, if I can't film what happened in my divorce and all these things because of what's going on with my marriage with Simon or whatever it is, divorce or whatever it is, now I have to film with what I have. And what I have is my family.
Yep.
And Dennis is my family.
And that co-parenting storyline.
Exactly. That is a real thing, right? One thing that we can definitely say about Porsha is, hey, she may scam a lot. She may maneuver herself through storylines and lifestyles and things of that nature. But one thing that is real is her and Dennis' relationship, no matter how toxic or not toxic it is, right? So, Drew, if you are filming with my baby daddy, right, basically using him as your storyline, where does that leave me for my storyline, right? Now you're forcing me to talk about my ex-marriage, and I don't want to do that, right? Even though y'all may try to corner me and pressure me and things of that nature. But I do find it very interesting that, hey, Drew, I don't know if she wants Dennis. I don't think it's that. But I do find it very, like, if this is your brother, if you cool with, if Ralph is cool with him and all of y'all are brothers and things like that, I wouldn't be calling him my angel on earth. I'm sorry. That just sounds just a little bit too much to me. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that Porsha was putting 20 on 10.
Okay.
I mean, even in her confessional, she was like, honestly, it's really not that deep. It's just like, you don't need to be filming with my baby daddy. And the thing is, I can understand that in the sense that, Drew, you have your own family, your own people that you can film with. Let me film with my people, right? I totally get that. But if Drew is doing music, she's trying to promote her music, Dennis is in the studio and he's helping with her and they see each other all the time because they're working together.
Yeah.
That's part of her life as well. It is a real part of her life. And I also feel like with Porsha trying to skate out of Dennis and Drew actually talking to her about their business relationship, whether if it was a text or a phone call, you knew about it.
Yeah.
So for her acting so offended by it and calling Drew low down, I'm just like, they communicated with you. You just need something to have a moment about. And that's what I really felt like. I felt like Porsha was going above and beyond to come at this girl because, number one, it's her first season back on the show since she's been gone. And I think that she really wanted to start off with, a bang. And I also think that when it comes to Porsha, like you said, her storyline might be limited because of what she wants to talk about or what she can film about when in regards to Simon. And I think that if this is something that she can create a story out of, she's going to milk it. And I think she's milking the situation. I don't think it's as deep as she has came at Drew about it. You know, I think it can be annoying. I think it could be like, you know, girl, like maybe you should just kind of stick with your family and let me stick with my family when it comes to filming and have that conversation. But I don't feel like she even approached it in a way to have a conversation. So
just one question to the jury, if I may approach the court.
Yes.
Is Dennis the only producer in Atlanta?
No.
Okay. So Drew, you don't have to record or music with Dennis. That's all I'm saying.
But I think part of it also is that Dennis showed himself to be a friend to her.
Yeah.
And I agree. The whole angel on earth and all this type of stuff is a little bit above
weird
beyond.
language.
But, you know, actors and actresses can be a bit dramatic.
Yeah. And look,
Drew can be a bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is that if she's been around Porsha to help the girl with her makeup, with her hair, with all these different things to really give Drew the spruce up that she needed for Housewives. So she's probably pretty close to Porsha and Dennis, and she's thinking that we're all friends. And look, I totally understand the point of just like, but that's my baby daddy. Just don't film with him. But I think that I see why Drew doesn't think it's a big deal, and I think that Portia's making it bigger than it needs to be.
No, she's definitely making it bigger because, listen, Porsha do need a storyline. And at the end of the day, your husband or ex-husband or whatever you're going through with your spouse, he lives in the basement. Talk about that and film with him where you standing on the top of the stairs and he's standing on the bottom of the stairs and y'all talking through the app.
Yeah.
But the whole going out and trying to film with my baby daddy, if you, listen here, this is not going to be the Dennis and Porsha and Drew show, the where we got scenes with him with Drew and then we got scenes with him and Porsha. It's just like I kind of see it from Portia's point of view, and I'm just like, wow, am I becoming a fan of Porsha?
Ooh, I hope not.
Ooh,
but
boy.
I do want to say, when it comes to the go naked hair and Drew wanting to have a photo shoot around the hair, if she's a brand ambassador, these girls do have photo shoots with the content that they're supposed to have photos of in order to produce content for your business. So to me, that's not a crazy outlandish thing, but I can see why Porsha is making it a bigger deal, because if I want to have a photo shoot for my business, that's going to be what I bring to the show.
Yeah.
You can't center a photo shoot around my business, even though you're a brand ambassador. You do need to take pictures of yourself in the hair, and that's something that usually people do on their own. It's not something that the company puts on for them. But in the scheme of the show, Porsha was just like, you're just doing a little bit too much with my things.
Yeah,
you know,
like, I'm Porsha. You don't have to be Porsha. Like, I'm Porsha.
Yeah,
I understand.
So we get to Angela Oakley's house. Charles Oakley is cooking. They have 4 kids together. She and Carly, let me rewind it a little bit.
Okay.
They don't have 4 kids together. They have 3 kids together and 1 child that's somewhere in the middle that is Charles's child and not her child.
Okay.
So to me, that means at some point there was a breakup, there was a cheatation, there was something going on that I do want to get into at some point this season.
Okay.
So she talks about the party and how everything went down. Apparently she also met Charles when they were in Chicago. She didn't hear from him for another 10 years when they became neighbors, and that's when they, you know, clicked up and, you know, got into a relationship.
Okay.
So she owns a financial consulting company. She is renovating and selling 5 properties. While she's trying to relay the nights of the event to her daughter, Charles is cooking, slamming dishes, throwing his opinion in there a little bit, one too. And that was when you were telling me, well, Charles is a personality.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested to see what his personality is.
I don't think you want to.
Oh, I don't.
But he no, like he's not gonna bite his tongue at all. Like he's not that type of guy to bite his tongue and things like that.
But Angela's point is that she can see Portia's side because she wouldn't want somebody working with Charles if he was her ex. And Charles says that he wouldn't work with these lames anyway.
Listen here, I think, truth be told, I don't know who Angela is. Do you know who Angela is?
No.
Right? I think Charles is going to raise her what's that?
Star power.
Stock on this show.
Okay.
Because you can film scenes with just Charles and them alone and it would be entertaining. That's how much of a personality Charles is, especially coming from the NBA world and things of that nature. So even this scene alone was funny. It was very light. It seemed very normal. You get what I'm saying? That he's on the grill, he's in the kitchen. You get what I'm saying? You got the kids running around. He's like, I don't really care about what's going on with the lames and things of that nature. So it felt real. It didn't feel orchestrated or like produced. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So we see Porsha and Kenya have lunch. Of course, we know they've had a tumultuous relationship.
Yeah.
But after they had their daughters, they've been able to become respectful of each other.
Nice.
So Kenya didn't know that Dennis did music, and Porsha said that he did do a kids album for their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Porsha didn't like that. Her main issue is that Drew was trying to film with Dennis. They have good and bad moments with co-parenting. They're in a better spot with co-parenting, but he is like a brother to her at this point. And she just wants Drew to protect her as a friend. Porsha is still riding around in this Rolls Royce that Simon got her. She didn't know that Simon was lying to her. Apparently there was a situation to where they were surrounded by a private jet by police, and he told her that it was because these years back he was sitting in a stolen car and they've been harassing him ever since. So Porsha apparently was his fifth wife. She saw that he had women in their house while they were married, and then Simon posts on social media all the time, and it's just getting to be a lot with him.
See, here's the thing about it, right? Porsha, you knew this was going to happen. At least listen, you knew nothing good was going to come from it. Like, you may not know this specifically or what was going to happen, but you being the fifth wife, like you ignore. And now since it came out on Watch What Happened Live that even your best friend husband was trying to give you the red flags of, hey, like, don't do this, slow down, like, protect your neck. You went full throttle ahead because you was like, I'm going to get something out of this. This may not be forever, but at the end of the day, I'm going to throw everything to the wind. I'm going to throw my jobs. I'm not going to be on the show. I'm going to quit my other jobs and things of that nature just so I can live this lifestyle and basically be part of this sinking ship that I knew was going to happen. So that's why I'm like, I don't really feel bad for her when it comes down to the whole marriage thing with the whole I can't film in the house and I can't talk about this and that. She knew this was going to happen. And she just basically said, I'm going to get in where I can fit in and I'm going to get out with what I can take out.
Yeah.
And that's just basically what it was.
Yeah. For me, I thought like, I really enjoy Kenya, and it sucks that we're not getting a lot of her commentary behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But Kenya is a very smart lady, and like all of us, she knew all of this was going to go down. So for her to say, so what number wife were you, or something along the lines, I'm like, Kenya knows these answers, but it's like, we want to hear you say it, Porsha, because it sounds crazy, and when you say it, you sound stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, ooh, Porsha doesn't even know she's getting wrapped up right now. She doesn't even know.
Here's the thing. I think Porsha knows. I think Porsha don't care.
Maybe not.
I think, like I said, one thing that Porsha have is audacity, and that is what keeps us, or that would basically keep us where we are in life in certain areas of our life. It's like, it's certain things. There are some people that are go-getters, and then there are some people that is like, I'm gonna get it by any means necessary. That's Porsha. Porsha, like, I have the audacity to look stupid, to be the fifth wife, but at the end of the day, I got this Rolls Royce, right? I got this mansion. I can't film in it right now, but I'm willing to go to the depths of hell to get what I want, to look however y'all say I'm going to look. And at the end of the day, it just is what it is. You got to respect it in some aspects, but at the end of the day, it's just like, ooh, Porsha, how much can you bear, Porsha?
How low can you go?
Yeah.
How low can you go?
She will go. She will go. And that's why I'm like, I can't go that low.
Yeah. And the thing is with Porsha, I don't dislike the girl. Like, to me, like, this is
like Porsha.
Yeah, to me, this is all entertainment. Porsha is a very entertaining, beautiful person to watch. Like, she's very captivating, but the girl, she's problematic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like that about her.
Yeah.
I like that about her.
And that is entertaining as well.
Yeah.
So Kelli is with her publicist Lamont. She started, of course, Nana's Chicken and Waffles. There's a new location that she's going to be opening. She says she's going to be opening it a month out from now.
Yeah.
But the project manager comes in and says this will not be happening.
Wow.
But she continues to say we're going to make it work. So we will see.
Stop right there for a second. This is why a lot of restaurants open in Atlanta and they close in Atlanta, right? What's the point of me having you on my books to basically guide me, to basically give me guidance on how to do this? And I'm just like, nope, I'm going to do it. Yeah. It just comes off as irresponsible. I'm sorry. Like, it just especially with a restaurant business, you want to do generational wealth with a restaurant. Opening up a restaurant is such a volatile business. Yeah. That it's like it's going to be a lot of costs, a lot of things. That it's going to be an overhead that I'm just like, I wouldn't get into that business if it was me, but it's not me. It's Kelli.
Yeah. And apparently her ex shut down one of the previous properties without her knowledge. And there was like a whole bunch of blowback because of that. But she really wants to be able to provide for her 4 daughters because her ex hasn't paid child support unless it's court ordered. And I will say, this season, it just feels so fresh and so new, and it feels good. And I didn't even want to watch it, y'all. Yeah. I really didn't want to watch it, and I definitely didn't want to review it. But I really liked seeing the beginning stages of Kelli getting her business together. I think that this is really the stuff that really drew me into Atlanta. Of course, you know, the conversations and the dynamics with the friendships, but these ladies really out here are shakers and movers, and to be able to watch somebody kind of like build from the ground up, and not saying that, I mean, Kelly's very accomplished in her own right already, but to see somebody start a process and a journey from the beginning, just like how we saw Candy start Old Lady Gang and what that grew into, and then she had her own show with Old Lady Gang, and then her Blaze restaurant. It's just nice to see the whole story arc, and I think that's what we were missing, is that we kind of went through the story arc with so many characters or of the ladies on the show that it's nice to get a fresh arc. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
but hey, I stick by my stance of another chicken and waffles place in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm all chicken and waffles out. Actually, here's how I really feel about chicken and waffles.
Let's hear it.
Out of every combination that you can put together, I think chicken and waffles is the worst combination, to be honest. I think it sounds cool. I get to have fried chicken in the morning, but to me, I've had a lot of chicken and waffles, and I'd rather have shrimp and grits. I'd rather have other combinations than chicken and waffles. I think out of all the breakfast combination, chicken and waffles is the worst.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. And maybe I haven't had Nana's chicken and waffles. Maybe it hit different.
Yeah, I had a lot, and I had a lot of chicken and waffles. I'm just like, this is very overrated. I'd rather have a pancake.
Okay.
Who knows, you know?
So Britt is at home with her husband, Mike.
Yeah.
They got married during COVID. He was apparently her client, or was trying to be her client, when she launched her insurance agency. But they got to talking. They went on their first date in Vegas, and it was love at first sight or whatever. So they are apparently going to renovate a part of the house. They are going to have a nice room for her mom to live in, because I think they want her mom to sell the house to move in with them, and they also want to start their family, have a baby. Yeah. And she's asking if they should have it in the new house or this house. They're also going to do IVF in order to get a daughter, because Mike has a 15-year-old son. And his response is, why does everything have to be so planned? And she's saying, you can't just throw a baby to a wall and see if it sticks, because that's kind of how he tends to go about things in his life. Yeah. So Britt and her mom go downstairs to the sauna because Mike is being a little bit grumpy in the conversation, and that is where we end that. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? And as a guy, I'm learning this even in real time. Whatever news your wife, your woman, your girl, but for my case, my wife, comes to me about, she is going to come here with it, whatever it is. Today, we're going to Target. It's almost like I've never been to Target, right? There's a certain excitement that she expects me to match, right? I tell her, I can't meet you up here. I can't breathe up there. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't have to meet her here, though. Yeah. Right? I feel like she came to him excited about a plan, excited about these goals, and he was too negative. He was too pessimistic about things, right? I'm not saying you got to match her energy, but at the same time, you can kind of match her energy, but in your own way, with like logic, with like some type of like things that also adds hope. You don't have to be like, well, you know, this ain't gonna happen, or like, you know, it don't work this way.
Or why you got to do it that way?
Yeah, it can be like, hey, I'm happy that you're happy about this. I'm happy you're happy about Target. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that I'm happy about Target, because truth be told, I'd rather go to Walmart. But my whole point is, like, I think he just didn't meet her, and in relationships that gets tiring, and then all of a sudden I become an enemy of your dreams. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I kind of see your flaws in other people. You get what I'm saying? I'm better at it now, but you kind of be like, now I kind of see it from a third person view, to where it's like, oh, this is how I look sometimes. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
And that was pretty much my takeaway from the scene as well. I think he just came across a little grumpy. I will say that these guys don't sign up for the show. Yeah. A lot of them are there to support their wives, and support comes in a lot of different variations. And this is not the particular brand of support that I enjoy seeing. But I just think it's just a matter of getting used to the cameras. Who knows if she's even like this when cameras aren't around? Who knows if she has, this much of a personality and talkativeness about her, which, we don't know. She possibly could, and maybe he just wasn't down for her idea. We don't know these people or their relationships. Yeah. But it just gave very much just that he was a little bit detached, and it was unfortunate, like she was really excited to talk about the planning of their future and their family and how they're going to get all this done. And for him to meet her with kind of like pessimism, I just kind of felt like, dang, like you couldn't have at least said, okay, that's great.
Something, exactly. Yeah.
Something, but you
listen, less is more. Whenever your woman come to you excited about whenever your women come to you, or your spouse, but usually it's the woman that comes to you and they excited about something that is very normal.
Can I throw something in there? A little
Help
example.
Me. Go ahead.
Our wedding planning, right?
Oh my gosh.
Our wedding planning, y'all. We had been together about probably like 6 years before we got engaged. So we got married the same year we got engaged. Yeah. Probably maybe like 5 months down the road.
Less than that.
We had a lot of help from family as far as venue, food, everything like that. So it was really not hard to pull off. But I was so excited to plan for a wedding and to think of all the little details and everything like that I wanted to put into the vibe of our wedding. And so every time an idea came up, every time a Pinterest thing came across my feed, I would say, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. And the excitement was always on 1,000 because we're getting married. Like, who's not excited?
Yeah.
And if there's anyone who's going to share an excitement with me, it would be the person whose wedding it is too.
You would think.
But he had a conversation with me. It's just like, look, I get your flame is high. That's what he says to me when I'm burning on 1,000.
I'm about to say your flame
is that I get your flame is high, but I'm not the type that wants to talk about every single detail, every single day, every part of the day. Let's meet up once a week and go through whatever we're talking about, so that way you can get it off your chest. And the thing is, he wanted to collaborate in the wedding. It's not like I was planning it by myself. So we did need to have these conversations, but it was just a matter of having it in a way that both parties can feel heard, respected, and not overwhelmed.
Listen here.
So
she was excited about the thank you gifts at the end.
Yeah.
She was coming to me about these thank you gifts.
We ended up doing honey jars, and I forgot to hand them out.
Mind you, I told her, I said, people don't care about no thank you gifts right now. Mind you, we ain't got the venue at this point. We ain't got the stuff for the venue. We ain't got the things that we need. But right now, what's important is the thank you gift. I'm like, we ain't talked to the venue people. We ain't got the food. We ain't got colors. We ain't got nothing. You ain't got a dress. But you want to talk to me about thank you gifts just for them to not even. I don't even know what happened to the thank you gifts.
I put them in a corner and I forgot to hand them out.
So
So we had a whole bunch of honey at the house for like the next year.
So
we still have honey left over.
So that's why I'm like, hey, bring to me the exciting things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's the difference between some partners and things like that. Because sometimes the man can be excited about certain things and the woman may not meet the energy. But for me, the flame was burning, boy.
Yeah.
The flame was burning.
So back to the show. Shamia goes to see her surrogate, Shadina. And Shadina was diagnosed with breast cancer while she was pregnant with Shiloh, Shamia's second daughter, and her at 32 weeks. Shiloh had to be delivered immediately. Shamia felt guilty that maybe the pregnancy, the hormones could have caused her breast cancer. And Shadina felt like a sense of failure that she wasn't able to carry their daughter to term, to carry Shamia's daughter to term, and that Shiloh was having all these health issues. So she had guilt around that possibly affecting Shamia's daughter. Shamia talks about, that's not something we can worry ourselves about. There's no way that we can know for sure. So we're not going to place blame anywhere when it comes to this. She says people look at me and think that I'm selfish for going the surrogate route, like it was for some vain reasons. But she went through 7 rounds of IVF and chose to go the surrogacy route. And she also just had an ectopic pregnancy to where, it ruptured. She was in the emergency room. There was blood everywhere. So people can go through surrogates for any particular reason, but it sounds like for her particular reason, it was really an issue of getting pregnant and being pregnant, healthy. Yeah. She still wants to grow her family. She has 4 embryos left, 2 girls, 2 boys, and Shadina is going to recommend another surrogate for her.
Listen here, this is, I told y'all before, I understand that Porsha is in the middle of the whole cast holding the peach, but they are prepping and priming Shamea to be the people's champion.
Yeah.
Because they adding, not only are they giving her camera time, they're giving her depth to her character. So they're giving you a backstory. They're giving you some strings that you can attach to her emotionally. I know a lot of women watch these Housewives shows, so I'm sure one of y'all had trouble getting pregnant. I'm sure one of y'all can relate to this story. You get what I'm saying? Even if it's on the breast cancer side or even the pregnancy side and things of that nature. And like I said, prayers to everybody. But it's just the idea of you can kind of see how the contrast between the two characters. You have Porsha to where we don't really get much depth from Porsha. You know what I'm saying? Even with the whole divorce and the things like that, it's almost as if she's trying to sweep things under the rug, while at the same time, Shamea's, on the other hand, exposing the skeletons, exposing the hardships, exposing the things and the scars, and even having this conversation with this lady and basically saying, look, I had guilt, you have guilt. Let's press reset on that. We can't blame it on that. And I'm happy you're here. Yeah. I'm happy your baby's here. It's adding depth to the character.
And I feel like it shows Shamea's character in such a beautiful light that, number one, the care and love that she had for Shadina and the fact that she was her surrogate and her coming there with flowers and really being with her and sitting with her and feeling for her when she's going through her own trials with her own daughter's health. Yeah. So I'm just like, Shamea is like a phenomenal woman. Yeah. Like, for real.
She's funny. I like her.
So Britt goes to Kelli's house. Britt wants to have a small ceremony for her wedding because she and her husband had a courthouse Zoom wedding during COVID. Kelli tells her, look, you don't have to worry about me showing up 3 hours late.
Oh, okay, Kelli.
Shade to Porsha.
Okay.
They were both shocked to hear Porsha go off on Drew. Kelli just asked a question when it came to Porsha about taking the other lady's husband because everybody wanted to know. And Britt said, did you catch Kenya asking, where is my wedding band? Worry about your own divorce, not my wedding band. Okay. Brittany says that she is pretty and that people think that she's a mean girl, but she's really one of the sweetest people ever. Okay. Kelli says that there was cheating in her marriage. He apparently took thousands of dollars from the company's bank account. She had to file a lawsuit in order to get the money back. She had to leave the house because it wasn't safe and things did get physical. She slept in closets some nights. Police were called. Things got really bad in her marriage.
So I guess we see in the beginning stages of Britt versus Kenya.
Yeah.
Right. Listen here, man. I really wish Kenya didn't take it too far, and this is what happens though, because even though I wish Kenya didn't take it too far, I put 100% blame on Kenya. Right. Whenever you're on these type of shows and there's pressure to perform, then next thing you know, you do too much. You get what I'm saying? To the point where now you're crossing the bounds to being entertaining, to being messy, to now doing criminal stuff. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, it's unfortunate that I wish we could have seen how all this going to play out on screen, because eventually, like, we're not going to see Kenya on the season. Like, she's only going to be in the beginning parts of the season. But I wish we would have seen this whole back and forth grow and see what comes from it, but we kind of know the end result of how it's going to end up, you know?
Yeah. And for this scene, I think that Britt is holding on too much to Kenya's comment about this ring. I think that she's holding on to it too much. And maybe I feel like the editing about her being a pretty girl and people thinking that she's mean and all this type of stuff, I feel like it was probably edited there intentionally, because immediately my mind went to Kenya is the OG pretty girl. Yeah. She is the pretty girl of the pretty girls. So, Britt, you are a pretty girl as well, but whatever prettiness you got going on ain't stunting on Kenya. She's not worried about whatever you may or may not bring to the table as mean or sweet. Kenya's going to be Kenya regardless. Yeah. So, and then when it comes to Kelli, I do find it interesting just kind of the things that she's gone through in her marriage and her divorce. And she's slowly opening up. She's giving it to us piece by piece. It kind of felt like at first she didn't really want to say exactly what was going on. But I think she's slowly letting us in to see what it all is that she went through and what she's trying to overcome, which I'm enjoying watching.
Yeah. So, let's go.
So Drew, Angela, Shamea meet up for a workout. Angela didn't see why Drew would work with Dennis out of all people. Drew talks about how Dennis pitched the idea to work with her. She's worked with big names in music, and her music didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
He is a big advocate for her and her husband. It's been like a war with her and Ralph. He's been taking large sum of money, and he's asking for alimony and child support.
Mm-hmm.
Shamia comes in ready for her workout. She is not going to get into the middle of the situation with Porsha, Dennis, and Drew. But Angela brings up how Shamia was pretty much playing guard dog for Porsha and asking that question for Porsha. And Shamia says that she asked the question for herself. Drew thinks that Shamia is being Porsha's lapdog.
You think Shamia is being Porsha's lapdog?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Shamia's going to ride or die for her friend.
Yeah.
And I think it's to a fault because... Number one, Porsha would not do the same for her.
No,
and she has not done the same for her.
Would not. We seen it.
She has not done the same for her.
Yeah.
And I get that Shamia, the way that she moves and handles herself is according to her character, and whatever Porsha does is out of her control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that sometimes when you got a friend who's a wild card, you can't defend all of their moves.
No.
You really can't, especially if you're not set up the way that they're set up. So
yeah, I think Shamia, when it comes to loyalty, I think that has to do with her in the sense of, hey, I'm a loyal person. It really have nothing to do with the person that she's loyal to. Right. So, I will say this about the Drew. Drew, it is suspicious that you are filming or doing music with Dennis, right? You said you work with big producers and your music didn't go nowhere. Then maybe it's not the producers. Maybe it's you. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, maybe you work with Dennis. Last time I checked, based on the review on this show, he made a children album for Porsha. So unless you're singing the kids, I really don't know what Dennis is going to do. But who knows, right? My thing is, hey, he was best friends or at least a baby daddy with Porsha, and Porsha was trying to do music, and I don't think her music career is anywhere. So I don't really know what evidence do you have that Dennis can put you on or that like he can get you to where you want to be. I do find it suspicious that this whole thing of like, yo, Ralph is my brother. I ain't gonna never do anything. Look, I understand there's bro code and maybe there's really nothing going on. Maybe it's just a little sauce on it for the show. But at the same time, yes, I understand that you may view Shamia as a lapdog. But Drew, the way you talk and the aura that you give off the aura as if you're hiding something at all times. You can be telling the truth 100%.
I don't know why it comes off like
but
that.
It comes
I
off,
really don't know why.
It comes off as if you always say something. You got the pinky right there on the side of the mouth. It just comes off suspicious. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, Porsha takes her daughter to a kid's play gym.
Yeah.
Dennis comes and Porsha brings up Drew, and Dennis says, we're doing business together. Porsha said, well, Drew said you were her Lord Jesus Christ and Savior. She called him an angel, but close enough. Dennis didn't feel like he needed to share all his business moves with Porsha. He did let her know that he was going to work with Drew, and he would never touch Drew. I mean, Ralph is his boy. Porsha doesn't see why he would film with her, and Dennis says, if she's promoting her music and I'm working on her music with her, then I would film with her. Porsha starts crying, goes to the bathroom, talking about she can never get support. If they're not talking, then he can use this platform against her. Production asks if she explained that to him, and Porsha is saying that he doesn't deserve her tears.
Okay.
Dennis is asking her what the problem is, and Porsha is like, it looks crazy if you show up on here with another housewife. Dennis is explaining that it's for promo, and Porsha says, well, it's going to affect your daughter in some type of way.
No, it's not. Listen here, I'm tired of people throwing kids out there. Listen here, when it comes to kids, how you showed up in other seasons of this show, how you showed up in the whole show that was centered around you and Dennis and the family, how you were trying to fight basically your in-laws and things of that nature, that would affect your daughter more than this, right? So I one thing I do not like when people try to throw their kids into the mix, basically saying what your actions is going to affect your daughter. What about your actions, Porsha? Like you have a whole catalog, a whole archive of Porsha on Housewives of Atlanta and things like that people could go back to and be like, this can affect your children, but you don't really care about the kids. That's why I don't like when people throw in their kids, because they don't really care. They just trying to pull on the heartstrings. Here's the thing. Dennis said something that was funny. He said, whole time I got to sit down and watch you with your 16 marriages and things of that nature. And now all of a sudden I'm over here trying to work and you got something to say. I think Porsha is trying to basically trying to use her emotions to try to pull on some heartstrings. But there's one person that I feel like she just can't do that to. That's Dennis. I don't think Dennis cares about Porsha tears in that way, to where it's like it's unfamiliar to him. It's like when Porsha don't get her way, she's gonna basically get emotional about it and try to make it about the kid and try to make it about their co-parenting. So it's like it's the same thing that we've seen in previous seasons of seeing them too.
Yeah. I feel like Porsha is using her emotions to try to manipulate the situation.
Yeah.
She wants it to go her way. She doesn't want him to film with her, and she definitely has her rights and her reasons to feel how she wants to. I'm not saying that she's wrong in any sense of the way, but for Dennis, it's purely work. You know, it's a purely work situation. And could they be doing this to get at Porsha a little bit? Maybe to stir up a little drama for the show. But I think that Portia's the one that's blowing this out of proportion, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
and guess what? Dennis, we know you for your works too. Dennis could be passive aggressively trying to get at Porsha too.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him.
Not at all. Anything else?
That's all we got.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all of the above. Also, check out our I almost said Fighting Temptations again. Temptation Island. Is that what it's called?
Yes, we're going to be reviewing that.
Yes, we're going to be reviewing that. That will be out probably tomorrow.
All right.
So make sure y'all check that out. We see y'all.
Bye.